on our video that we work on biodiversity loss and animal trafficking. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction of who we are. So we were originally a group of 6 people, and these are 2 guys that are in Bolivia who unfortunately couldn't come. And this is a girl called Luisa that she left last semester to Brazil, so she left GIN, and we were really disappointed about that, but we're going to start. So our mission of the BioGuardians is to preserve the environment and biodiversity, stop animal cruelty and the causes of extinction, and give living creatures the life they deserve. Our principles are that all animals and plants deserve a safe habitat on Earth. The general population has to treat living things with more respect. Living things, especially animals, shouldn't be victims of human abuse such as violence, poorly treated, trafficked, poached, used as animal testing, neglected, or used for entertainment. And the community needs to be educated on how to stop environmental damage and preserve nature. All right, so first, does someone know what's biodiversity? All right, you.
It's how different animals are and species in a specific place.
Yeah, it's true. It's the variety of animals and plants that exist on Earth. So as you can see, there are parrots. Here's a flora and a monkey and a bear. All right, so I will explain some facts you should know about biodiversity, right? So first, the UN Convention on Biological Diversity states that there are some 13 million species, of which 1.75 million have been described. So imagine we don't know other species that actually exist. All right, so I will explain hotspots. Does someone know what are hotspots?
Spots where something's more focused on, or there's more
Yeah,
right there.
it's true. Like the biodiversity hotspots are the ones that have a rich biodiversity but are threatened because of damage. Alright, so an example. For example, in Bolivia, in La Paz, we have armadillos, this animal here. And we have the Carnaval of Oruro, and they use these animals to do this type of they're called matracas and charangos, to do this weird sound, but it's I don't know. Really,
It's a native instrument for carnivals.
So because of this reason, this animal is going extinct in Bolivia. They are doing laws against this, but they don't respect this law, so they are keep on doing this stuff. And also we have a charango, which is a folkloric instrument. And they use the back of this animal to use it. So I think you should know that 50% of the world's plant species and 42% of all terrestrial vertebrates species are native to one country and naturally do not exist anywhere else. So we have to be aware of what native species we have so we can preserve them, because if not, they are going to become extinct. Alright, so the IUCN says that the current rate of extinction may already be as high as 10,000 times the natural rate, so imagine it's a lot. I didn't know this, but I think it's a really good thing you should know about biodiversity and the causes of extinction. And also the red list threatened species, it says that the number of species threatened with extinction is around 17,000, which includes 1 in 4 mammals, 1 in 3 amphibians, and 1 in 8 birds. This is a graph, sorry if it's blurry, but this shows how the most species that is at risk are the amphibians, as you can see here. The threat is really high. Alright, so what's causing biodiversity loss? Does someone know? If you don't look this. Alright, you and you. First you.
It's mostly human pollution and taking over and buildings, and basically things that wouldn't normally happen if humans were interacting with that nature.
True. You?
Human ignorance of the animals that actually live in there. They just move in.
You and then you. And then you. Global warming.
taking care of like lands for farming or for building houses.
Sure.
I was gonna say climate.
The same?
Yeah.
Right, someone else? Laurita?
And well, deforestation that comes from industrialization and making cities.
True. So all of you are like right. So I will explain like again. So it's because of humans. So it's habitat loss and degradation, converting like lands to agriculture. Also climate change. Also excessive nutrient load and other forms of pollution. For example, in this picture, you can see how like because sometimes we use like a lot of fertilizers. This goes to the rivers, and this makes like the algae grow, and then the oxygen like it's off for the fishes. And also overexploitation and unsustainable use, tourism, hunting, trafficking, and invasive alien species to areas where they are not native. For example, in Bolivia, in the Lake Titicaca, we have pejerrey, a type of fish, and because one species, like some type of trout, came here, yeah, it's like eating all the food for this, like pejerrey, and so they are like becoming extinct in Titicaca. Alright, so now we're going to show you a video. See this?
Climate change is spurred by several factors. One important cause derives from greenhouse gas emissions. Basically, what these gases do, which include methane, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, among others, is trap heat within the atmosphere. Why is this bad? Well, this causes global temperatures to rise. It's risen by 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.8 degrees Celsius since 1980. And what are we doing to accelerate this process? Industrial processes are worsening this problem. For example, burning fossil fuels such as oil in cars and factories releases large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Also, deforestation equals less trees, equals less oxygen produced through photosynthesis. Population growth is also a problem. More people means we have to consume more resources to satisfy their needs. I mentioned that industrial and agricultural practices contribute to climate change. These processes are fueled by human consumption, which means it increases as population grows. What other problems can climate change lead to? Well, it also has an impact on wildlife habitats. What can we do to help prevent climate change?
Alright, so we did this video first to show you how climate change is affecting the wild animals. As you can see there, because of greenhouse gas emissions or gases, sorry, and some of the polar bears on the Arctic, like our glaciers are melting, so they are like, are like a species that is becoming extinct. Also, the turtles who lay their eggs on the like beaches because of sea level rises, this affects them, and also the birds because of the different weather, they have to migrate to other poles to higher elevations. Some facts about biodiversity in Bolivia. So, of 100% of trafficked animals, 70% are parrots. Out of this 70%, only 1 out of 10 parrots actually survive trafficking. And more than 60 species of birds are found at Lake Titicaca. More than 80% of Lake Titicaca's species are found only in the lake. Also, overfishing can kill 7 native species in Lake Titicaca. And in the 1970s, vicuñas almost went extinct due to the wool demand. Luckily, due to the capture and shearing of programs, there are now more than 10,000 animals. Alright, so first, why is biodiversity important? Someone else? No one? Alright, so I think it's really important that we should know why it's important. So first, it provides us with many of the things that sustain our lives, for example, oxygen. Also, protecting our species and their habitats also improves our quality of life and our standard of living. So here it's like biodiversity, and it helps us to regulate our climate, control floods, and gives us fresh water, absorbs carbon dioxide. We can it stops erosion. Then, I don't know, when I go to a place really nature with nature and green things and flowers, I really found like peace there. It's really calm. You can go and read, I don't know, you can go and think. So I think we should like preserve biodiversity. Alright, so now we are going to show you a video about wild animal trafficking. That is our main like issue. And there's a part that there's this man please don't laugh, boys, but just listen because it's really important. Yeah, it's really distracting.
Crimen ecológico. Haya 40 monos muertos en la bodega de un ómnibus. Los animales fallecieron por las crueles condiciones de transporte al que los someten los depredadores de la fauna silvestre. Asimismo, se decomisaron más de 2 centenares de loros y un tigrillo.
Okay, so now that you know some things about what's causing environmental and biodiversity losses, we want you to think about this question. It's an essential question. And it's our human desire worth all of environmental damage and animal suffering. And for this question, we want you to think about like what humans need. We know we need food, we need space, but think about when humans need something and when humans abuse and exceed. And so we want you to think about that question, and like later on, we're gonna tell you if you have anything to say, you can say it later. Yeah.
Okay, so what is animal trafficking? So it all starts with the desire of having some fancy wild animal as a pet or to sell as a product. And traffickers kill the adult animals, and they hurt their babies, and they break animals and traumatize them. And they usually have poor living conditions, and they usually get neglected or abused. Okay, animal trafficking is the world's third biggest market of illegal trade, but after drugs and weapons, but recently we found out in CNN that now it's the second world's biggest market of illegal trade. I think it goes after drugs, but just so you know that it's a huge problem and we need to do something about it. And during the process of trafficking, animals suffer and eventually die of the poor living conditions. And I want you to think of something. How would you feel if you were an animal trafficked? With living with bad conditions, being neglected or abused, you wouldn't like for people to put you in cages, and you wouldn't like for people to you wouldn't like people to I'm sorry, people. I just get tongue twisters. You wouldn't like for people to treat you that way and to sell you just to get like alcohol and drugs. Next. Then wildlife trade hotspots, also known as certain places in the world where wildlife trade is particularly threatening. So everywhere in the world there's some type of hotspot, but usually in some hotspots there would be like where the illegal market would be, and you would see people on the streets like selling birds, monkeys, and all wildlife. And the very existing of illegal trade sorry, people. So people don't really protect their country, and they just really don't care about what's happening in the wildlife. So they just leave it there, and they wait for somebody to do something. So that's what we're doing. Then what happens to the animals after they're trafficked? Well, they usually adapt to human nature. Like when you see a parrot saying like, hola, or they start barking like a dog, you think it's super cute and like, oh my god, blah, blah. And when you think of it, it's not good for parrots to say that because it's not their natural habits. And then when they go back to the wild, since they say like hola and those stuff, other parrots will continue doing that and it'll destroy their natural habits in nature. And usually poachers break families and destroy migration patterns, extincts communities and ecosystem interactions. So at a hotspot, you would see, let's say like the armadillo example, you would usually find armadillos, but since traffickers break the families apart, you probably won't see them in the future.
Okay, so for this project, we're working with a non-profit organization called La Senda Verde. La Senda Verde is located in Yungas, La Paz, Bolivia. This organization was created by Vicky Ocio and Marcelo Levy in 2003. They wanted to make a tourism project, but due to the situation in the area, in the region, and in the north, they decided to dedicate their efforts to maintain their refuge. Now they are obligated to receive animals, and they have 350 animals in the refuge. Okay, what they do in Senda Verde. In Senda Verde, they try to give the animals a normal life. They try to develop their psychological and physical abilities, and they want to provide educational experience to stop this issue, and mostly give these animals a life they deserve. Our experience in La Senda Verde. When we went to La Senda Verde, we were already informed about this issue. But when you get there and you actually see these animals, you see how bad this is. We realized what happens to these animals and what they have to go through. And we learned some stories that are like really touching. In Senda Verde, volunteers stay like up to 24 hours with the animals, just like by giving them affection. And we realized that the government isn't doing anything about this. So with Senda Verde, we want to create projects to make this issue stop. Our project. Okay, this is one of our projects that we have already accomplished. So for this one, we sent application letters to students who are interested in going to La Senda Verde, and we're taking 6 students to La Senda Verde for free. So we want the students to actually see what's happening and spread the word so they can help us stop this issue. In our project, did anybody read the High Noon book, Tony Global Issues? Yeah. So in the book they mentioned that the kids and the young people are the ones who can make adults change, and they are the ones that can make people concerned. And what we want to get, what we're trying to do with our project is to make people understand that we're doing something because something's happening, not because like there's No problem. So we want to make people care and make people stop promoting this issue. Our notebook project. For this project, right now we're working with a group from our school, the Carbon Cutters. So later we want to work with a company. We want the company to promote us. What we're trying to do here, we're putting a cover photo of an animal, and in the back of the cover photo, we're gonna put information about animal trafficking. And what we're trying to do here is that we want to sell these notebooks at the beginning of the year before school starts. So people buy materials, they can, like, little kids are gonna check the books and they're gonna be, oh look, animal trafficking is bad, because most little kids, like, what little kid doesn't want a cute monkey, but like they don't know what happens to them. So we're gonna educate them with friendly information.
And by the way, these are all made by recycled materials, so they're earth friendly.
Our memory game project. For this project, it's like we want to make memory games, and this is for little kids. We're gonna teach them like where these animals belong. We're gonna put, let's say, a dog in like your house, and you can see that the dog belongs in your house, and the monkey in the jungle, and they have to match it. Like, it's for little kids, and we want to promote these games in schools, like elementary, or with people that work with little kids. Okay, our greenhouse project. For this project, we're working with the Corazón del Bosque. This nonprofit organization works with reforestation. And what we want to use our greenhouse to get profit for our project, and just to get the money to donate it to Senda Verde and to use it for our future projects. Our dinner talk project. After we have all of our projects done, what we want to do is make a dinner with the people from the government, like the Ministry of Environment. We think that the government can get things done, but what they're missing is ideas. So we give them their ideas. We think that they're gonna get things done, and for this, we're gonna get guest speakers that know about animal trafficking. Okay.
All right, so now guys, we're going to make an activity. So can you please be on group some?
Yeah.
No, but I can say group. Yes. So can you be like do groups? We have like just groups that like five. We need 5 groups.
So it'd be like 5 to 6 people in a group?
Yeah.
Vamos, que no hay tanto tiempo, señora.
Yeah, just
Sí, bajito, la canción. Bajito.
la otra. Down. Ajá.
Pero
Just
bajito.
5 groups. So where's one group? There.
What?
Can we just like join you?
Yeah.
Six. Guys, please do it quickly because we have only 6 minutes.
Oh, they can take it? Ya, cuando se salgan les damos. No, deja ahí.
Ok, Macu, ya han terminado.
Okay, ya está, sí. Ahí estamos, ya se llama. Hacer la llamada. Pero con los logos.
There you go.
Sí, a la nena quería.
Se corre el control que ya estamos saliendo.
¿Estamos a tiempo?
4. No hemos acabado. No.
Two more minutes.
No, that's like the work. Oh, okay.
Sí que está interesado.
Mentira, en serio. No,
Yeah.
Oh, 4 minutes? Okay, 4 minutes, girls. Erin.
So, since guys, can we please have your attention? Thank you.
So, since we have a few more minutes left, we'd like for you to go to our Facebook page and give us likes. We would also want to show you, there's some pictures of those desks and little dolls. You can take them as a reminder of Bolivia and what we're doing. So,
Explain what the geckos are.
yeah, and those little dolls are geckos. So right now in Bolivia, there's this huge fair that's called La Cita, and it's from this story about this guy who gave her girlfriend a gecko, which is a doll that had like little amounts of everything on him, like rice, meat, oils, and that stuff. So it says that the legend that every time the boyfriend gave her the gecko, she would eventually get it in huge amounts. So it says if you go to the fair and buy it, you would usually get it in real life. So if you want, you can keep those little geckos and the pictures.
And yeah, these are your prizes.
Yeah, those are their prizes.
So hope you like it, guys.
Yeah,
And
and
our logo.
don't forget to help biodiversity and
Animal trafficking.
yeah.
Spread the word.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Nothing?
No.
Yes, go on.
How old is the club?
Yeah, we began-
like
yeah.
6-7 months.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Sí, ya vamos a acabar.
Right?